got Alan Lu and Alisha Vavilakolanu. Alan is an interdisciplinary creative engineer working at the intersection of AI and animals and developing technological solutions for neglected areas in animal suffering. He's also working on corporate campaigns against factory farming through legislative advocacy. In his free time, he loves making narrative-driven video games that center non-human animals. And Alisha Vavilakolanu is a product designer with expertise in crafting purposeful AI-driven user experiences. Her background spans psychology and governance/regulatory compliance, and she's interested in applying this unique combination to design policy-focused solutions that address animal oppression. If she's not at her computer, she's probably out photographing birds, training for her next marathon. Well, you just give a line, you as possible. So I'll just hand over to them now.
Everyone, we're so glad to be here. Thank you. And Alisha and I are both big AI enthusiasts. So, I mean, if you can't tell, this image was made with generative AI. So we're going to be talking about harnessing AI to shape animal-friendly urban spaces. But I'm going to pass it off to Alisha first to talk about the challenge and the problem we're trying to solve.
Awesome, thanks. So the problem that we're trying to solve with PawlicyPal is policy as an overlooked solution for animal welfare. So this is one of the most underutilized, untapped areas for animal protection right now. So while advocates focus on rescue and raising awareness, which are also very important, a lot of city codes still fail to adequately address the animal welfare concerns. So that is the challenge that we're really targeting with our work. So we started off by conducting some user research. We sent out a survey to 17 advocates, and we found out that of these, 53%, so around half, had successfully influenced policy in the past, and over 60% were comfortable with government processes. However, the top frustrations among this group were not seeing results, lack of funding and resources, knowledge and gaps in strategy and process, and finding community or groups to work with and overcoming opposition from the industry. And what they need help with, a lot of these areas could be addressed through AI tools, and that is really where we decided to shift our focus.
Our solution is called PawlicyPal. So what exactly is PawlicyPal? It's an AI co-pilot that we've created to help advocates, animal advocates, city planners, urban designers, anyone who really does work within cities and tries to change or affect legislation, draft city-specific, legally sound animal protection ordinances. So these could be city codes, ordinances, laws, bills, anything like that. We have two main features or tools within PawlicyPal that we'll speak to more in depth in later slides. But basically, one is the policy generator, which is basically the actual AI that handles drafting the policy and working with you to draft the policy, very similar to ChatGPT. And then we also have the policy tracker, which is a collaborative project management tool for teams to basically organize all those policies. And there's so many different use cases that we're seeing with something like this. So for example, bird-safe building codes. You could use something like PawlicyPal to generate policies with glass design requirements and lighting restrictions to help basically reduce fatal bird collisions in those urban areas. You could generate non-lethal rodent control strategies and recommend alternatives to glue traps and poisons, like waste change policies or fertility control. I won't go through all of them because there's a lot of use cases for sure. But for example, we both live in New York City. And one thing that's going on right now, which is super relevant, is horse carriage bans. So for example, you could also use PawlicyPal to draft up a policy around either banning horse carriages or improving the welfare for horses in those situations. So many different applications.
So what makes PawlicyPal unique? So why use our tool instead of ChatGPT or Claude? So one is the dedicated knowledge base. So we use retrieval augmented generation, or RAG technology, to pull context from specific animal-friendly documents stored in our database. So this is a database that is unique to PawlicyPal and is, because of that, it's less biased than a tool like ChatGPT. And the database includes policies on animal welfare implemented in the past, wins, losses, and it can continue to be trained and built out based on the data that we include in it. The other piece, which Alan just touched on, is the policy tracker. So we have a built-in workflow tracker that allows users to, once they draft a policy, to manage the campaign for it from start to finish. So once a draft is added, they'll be able to see any active policies all in one place, along with stages, due dates, assignees. So essentially like a tool like Asana or Monday.com, but right in the in PawlicyPal, so they can have everything all in one place. So this is just a quick look at how PawlicyPal can help activists influence policy using the example of the horse carriage ban. So they started out with a prompt, and I apologize, the screen is a little blurry, but this is the policy that the tool has generated. And when they select track this policy, it automatically takes them to this policy tracker. And a lot of these columns are populated based on knowledge that PawlicyPal already has about how processes work within the jurisdiction that the user is based in.
So briefly, we just wanted to note some key partners and mentors. So first is Electric Sheep. The idea for this project and the prototyping for this project came out of the Future Kind AI Fellowship that they ran. And then we also got some funding from Stray Dog in terms of getting the prototype up and running on our website. And then also we have Karen Singleton, who's a member of the Animal Justice Party. And we talked to her a lot in the initial stages and working along within the project as well. About how to design this actual product to be the most useful that it can be for animal advocates within policy. And lastly, we just wanted to note, we've gotten some good feedback from this project so far already. Like as Alisha said, we've interviewed a lot of people within the space in policy, AI, animals, that intersection, that space. And after creating the initial prototype, we've gotten some great feedback as well. So lastly, that's pretty much it. But we just wanted to note that we are very excited in continuing to build PawlicyPal, and we would love to connect with anyone who's at that intersection or in any of those spaces, whether you're an animal advocate, policy expert, legal professional, or anyone who has the resources or connections and wants to connect. You can also scan the QR code to stay up to date with the building of PawlicyPal. And we do have a demo that I don't think we'll show because just in the interest of time. But if anyone is interested in learning more, feel free to just talk to us around the conference. Thank you.